I'm sure the Emperor won't mind if I deliver you to him in pieces.
What? Did you really think you could capture me?
You've got classified military intel stored on your yacht. And you just brought it right to me. Thanks, BD.
You'll burn for this.
That's mine.
The sequel to Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order has finally arrived, and with it came much anticipation in regards to the story and what Cal would face on his next adventure. Unfortunately, what we got was loads of bugs and optimization issues, but even with these problems, this game still manages to deliver. Let's just start out with the obvious. If you bought this game on launch, this game had nothing but performance issues. During my playthrough, the bugs were noticeable from the start. From the opening cutscene, I noticed the game just looked a little bit off, so I decided to turn off film grain, motion blur, and chromatic aberration to get the best look possible. I played this game on performance mode, which was supposed to be 1440p 60 FPS, but when actually playing, the visuals had to be around 900p or something. It just didn't look as clear as it should have. It didn't bother me too much though, so I continued. The most jarring issue I encountered was the stuttering and frame rate of the cutscenes. When you would transition from gameplay to cutscene, the scene would stutter so bad you couldn't even tell what had happened. And if you were able to load the cutscene with zero issues, then it would stutter during the scene, completely ruining the immersion. Just take a look at the scene where Cal meets Bode. As Bode takes his helmet off, you can see the stuttering going on. Now this isn't game breaking, but it's noticeable enough to make you say, damn, why is the helmet moving like that? There are other instances where enemies just disappear, or BD doesn't appear on Cal's shoulder, among other things, but this isn't a rant video. I just had to spend some time acknowledging the fact of how unoptimized this game was on launch. Oh, and one more thing, if you bought this game on PC, I'm so sorry. I heard the game was virtually unplayable on PC. My playthrough was on PS5, but if the issues I had encountered on the PS5 were anything like they were on the PC, I would have been pissed. Paying $70 for a game to be this buggy on launch is just unacceptable. But no more talk about the bugs and performance issues, let's talk about the actual game itself.
We got no hope, zero, zilch, nothing. How you doing, BD? Wait a minute. Cal, just get over here, you son of a bugling! Oh!
The story for this game picks up 5 years after Fallen Order, as Cal is on his own still trying to fight the Empire. Over the course of the game, Cal is reunited with his old crew members Grease, Marin, and Sayre. The plot centered around finding a secret planet that could serve as the home for the remaining Jedi, with the hopes of rebuilding the Jedi Order. It starts slow and struggles to find its footing, but once it does, there's no going back. There's definitely some memorable moments in this game that had me completely immersed. These dynamic action sequences helped elevate the story and made each battle feel more cinematic. I thought Respawn did a great job at showing Cal's struggle and balancing his emotions as he tries to suppress his anger and not give in to the dark side. There was a constant theme of struggle that was present from the beginning of the story all the way to the end. The twist that happens caught me by surprise, as what happens after that reveal is easily the best part of the game. By the end of the story, Cal is a stronger, seasoned Jedi that is more focused on his goal than ever before. I think this story built upon the foundation that was laid in Fallen Order and puts this franchise in a great spot for a third game. The boss fights in this game are so much better than the original. First of all, there are more fights in the game, and the types of bosses you face all have unique movesets that make each encounter feel fresh. One addition to this game is now there are many bosses who also wield lightsabers. This gives you more battles with lightsaber wielding enemies that aren't just Sith Lords. Included with the boss fights are bounties, which you can fulfill for bounty pucks that can be used to buy various items. The cinematic sequences in these boss fights help make the long trek to these moments well worth it. I would say the boss fights are the best aspect of the game, even better than the story. When it comes to customization, this game does way more than just giving you ponchos. Cal has so many different customization options that whatever Cal you create will feel unique and different from the other Cals made by other players. The chests that are scattered across the game contain items for both Cal and BD that help change their appearance. You can change Cal's hairstyle, clothing, and lightsaber, but you can also go in depth in each area. With the clothing, you can choose different styles, pieces, and colors, allowing you to mix and match different tops and bottoms to create your own custom outfit. The lightsaber can be customized by more than just color, as the entire saber starting from the hilt can be comprised of different materials you find out in the world. And finally, you can change the look of BD to give him a new or old look while also changing his color scheme. The customization options in this game were such a nice upgrade over what we received in Fallen Order. It made me want to find the chest instead of just skipping them because I knew they would be ponchos. Over the course of the game, you visit different planets, and just like the original game, each planet has its own main objective that you must complete to continue the story. What makes these worlds great is how unique they feel from one another. The environments in each of these worlds all feel different and add a layer of immersion that makes you feel like you're actually a part of the universe. What helped add to this immersion was the enemy variety. In every world, you would find some enemies that weren't in the others, mixed in with droids and stormtroopers that appeared in every world. The combination of enemies, environment, and music made every world feel special, and even during return visits to certain worlds, they felt different than the first time I went there. The gameplay is pretty much the same from the first game, but there are a few new features that flesh out the experience, adding more layers and more ways to play. The most obvious addition is the different stances that you can use. During each battle, you have the option to use two stances that you can switch back and forth from. My favorite stance was the blaster stance, and, in my opinion, serves as the best stance in the game. Wielding a pistol with one hand and your lightsaber in the other gives you the ability to fight from both close and long range. Another cool feature was the force tears. These force tears served as trials that you had to finish by completing certain thresholds. This first one had you jumping left and right as this red barrier would eventually try to cut you off. I'm ashamed it took me many tries until I realized that the barrier switches sides every time you jump, so I needed to time each jump carefully. As the game goes on, you find more force tears with different objectives, which are pretty fun as they are a nice change up to the usual enemy encounters and exploration found in each world. New to this game is a perk system, which gives you certain abilities based around weapons or the force that would give you an advantage in battle. For me, I used the marksman perk the entire game. This gave Cal's blaster shots more damage, which when combined with the stun shot, dealt heavy damage to almost every enemy. Once you find the right combination of stances, perks, and abilities, that is when you're able to hone in and play the game exactly how you want to play it. There's not much in this game that I didn't like, if I'm being honest. Only two things come to mind. The first is once again the map. I made a small rant video where I complained about the map and how it could be improved. I'll be sure to leave a link to that video in the description. It was disappointing that the map was only slightly updated from the original game, as I hoped it would receive a major overhaul since the map in Fallen Order was so bad. At some points in the game, trying to find out where you need to go is just confusing. Just like the original, they darken out the places that you haven't visited, making it harder to find the path you need to follow to reach the next destination. Although, they did make some additions that make the map in this game better than the first. The addition of beacons and the navigation points helped make it easier to know what direction to go in and what the points of interest were. Also, being able to fast travel from meditation point to meditation point was a huge time saver, as in the first game you had to backtrack all the way back to the Mantis after completing each mission. Overall, this map still sucks, but I'd be lying if I said they didn't improve it some. The other thing I didn't like was sometimes they would throw hordes of enemies at you in a semi-crowded area. It's not the fact that there's a lot of enemies, it's the fact there isn't a lot of room to move and dodge around the enemies. When you have stormtroopers shooting you from above, grenades being thrown, and then large droids attacking you, you need to be able to move all over the place to dodge everything. But when they put you in a compact room with no partner, it can just be overwhelming at times. But I guess this is one of those situations where you just get good. Overall, I thought this game was great. The game was exciting from start to finish and improved on so much from the original. Every aspect of the game is more fleshed out and offers more replayability than Fallen Order ever did. It's a shame this game had such a bad launch, because if it would have released polished with very little to no bugs, this game would be a Game of the Year contender. It still might get nominated, but with these performance issues, I don't know how you can choose this title over the other games that were released in better condition. For those reasons, I'm going to give this game an 8.5 out of 10. This game, now that it's been patched and some of the bugs have been fixed, is definitely worth the $70 if you're a Star Wars fan or if you enjoyed Fallen Order. This game is a thrilling experience that is definitely worth your time. Did you enjoy Star Wars Jedi Survivor? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like or subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.